My wife's double life, the shocking truth that destroyed everything. It started with a message I wasn't meant to see. Her phone buzzed at 2:17 a.m., a soft vibration on the nightstand. She stirred, half asleep, her hand reaching for it. I watched through half-closed eyes, pretending to dream. She didn't know I'd seen the name before, the same one that had appeared last week, a deal. The message preview lingered for a second before she swiped it away. A single line. Can't stop thinking about last night. Her body froze, barely perceptible, but I noticed. The smallest tremor in her breathing. She turned away from me, clutching the phone under the blanket. I lay there, silent, staring into the dark ceiling. The fan hummed a dull rhythm above us, slicing the silence into thin, precise beats. My mind felt detached, not broken, not yet, just rewiring itself around something poisonous. She slept eventually. I didn't. When morning came, I smiled, poured her tea, kissed her forehead, told her she looked beautiful in that light green kurta she liked. Inside, something shifted. A quiet calculation began. For days, I told myself I could be wrong, that Adil was just a friend, a coworker, a forgotten cousin. But her laughter changed. So did her eyes. When she spoke to me, it was like she was reading from an old script, lines rehearsed, but no longer felt. She began coming home late from work, sometimes with excuses that sounded too clean, too polished. Traffic, office meetings, a sick colleague. One evening, while she showered, I looked at her phone. It was locked. A new password. I smiled at the irony. When someone starts protecting something, that's when they start losing it. I didn't confront her. That would be emotional, impulsive, weak. Instead, I decided to observe. A pattern emerged. Every Wednesday and Friday, she stayed late. Every Thursday morning, she wore perfume she never used before. Every weekend, she avoided intimacy, claiming headaches, exhaustion, mood swings. The house still smelled of her lotion and jasmine hair oil, but the warmth was gone. She moved through rooms like a ghost wearing her face. Denial is a strange comfort. It wraps around you, telling you maybe you imagined it all. But even in denial, truth leaks through the cracks, and when it does, it stains everything. I began collecting the small pieces, quietly. A receipt from a restaurant we never visited. An Uber trip from her office to an unknown address. A stray hair on her dupatta, short, coarse, unmistakably not hers. I remembered every detail, every timestamp. Numbers don't lie. People do. I followed her one Friday, stayed far enough that she wouldn't notice. She met him near Goldberg, outside a small cafe tucked between old brick shops. She smiled in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. That slow, melting smile, the one that used to undo me. They sat close, their hands brushing casually, like they'd done it 100 times before. The way she looked at him told me everything words couldn't. But I didn't storm in, didn't shout, didn't break. I walked away before she saw me, because I already knew what I'd do next. At home, I opened my laptop, accessed our shared bank account, found several unexplained withdrawals, small, frequent, precise. He was using her, or maybe she was using me to fund him. The next morning, I ordered a DNA test. Our son had her eyes. But lately, I'd started wondering about his smile. For a week, I lived in silence, a perfect actor in a broken play. I laughed when she did. I held her hand when she offered it. But inside, I was dissecting every moment, piece by piece, until nothing human was left. The truth was close. I could feel it breathing behind my shoulder. The report arrived on a cold Tuesday morning. A white envelope, sealed, harmless looking. I didn't open it immediately. I placed it on the table, next to my untouched tea. Watched the steam curl and fade. When I finally tore it open, the paper sliced through my finger. A thin line of blood. A small, fitting signature. Silence. It wasn't shock. It wasn't pain either. Just confirmation. That night, I cooked dinner. Her favorite, chicken biryani. She smiled, surprised. "Special occasion?" she asked. "Yes," I said quietly. "Something like that." When she finished eating, I handed her the envelope. No words, no drama, just paper. She looked confused at first, then pale, then terrified. Her fingers trembled. "What is this?" she whispered. "The truth," I said. Her mouth opened, but no sound came. Tears started to gather, not from guilt, but from fear. She reached for me, maybe to explain, maybe to beg. I stepped back, watched her world collapse without lifting a finger. I didn't shout, didn't curse, didn't even look away. Sometimes silence hurts more than rage ever could. The next morning, I left before she woke up, went to the lawyer, signed the papers. No arguments, no settlements. Just an ending. When I returned home, she was waiting, eyes red, makeup smeared. She tried to speak, but I raised a hand. "Don't," I said. "You've said enough in your silences." I placed the divorce papers on the table beside her phone. Unlocked. Open to the last message she sent to him. "He suspects nothing," she gasped, her face drained of color. I'd been watching for weeks, reading everything. Every lie, every plan, every word. "I didn't expose you to hurt you," I told her calmly. "I exposed you so you could see what you really are." She broke down, begged, promised, swore, but it all sounded like static, noise without meaning. I took the keys from the hook, my wedding ring from my finger, and placed it on the table beside the cold biryani leftovers. Then I walked out. No turning back. No final glance. It's strange how quiet the world becomes after betrayal. Even the wind feels heavier, slower, as if it carries the weight of truth. I live alone now. The house is smaller, emptier, but cleaner somehow. No lies hiding in corners. No perfume masking absence. Sometimes I see her name flash on my phone. I never answer. There's nothing left to say. People think closure comes from understanding. It doesn't. It comes from acceptance. Cold, merciless acceptance. I've stopped asking why. Some questions rot you from the inside. Now I sleep better. I breathe easier. Because the truth, no matter how cruel, is still cleaner than deceit. And sometimes, losing everything is the only way to see what was real. I loved her once, but love built on lies isn't love, it's delusion. So I buried that version of myself with her secrets. And when I walked away that day, I didn't just leave her. I left the man who needed her to feel whole. Now I am whole, in my silence, cold, untouched, free.